Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Laser Sports Academy podcast. I'm here with a very special guest tonight, an old friend I've known for quite some time, coming from all away in the opposite corner of the world. If you can't guess with the blue, red, white, and blue, I've also got packs in the background to make sure we've got the right color scheme going on. We have somebody here who is a very special person in laser tag because she is like a bridge between the worlds, and she is an ambassador for the sport and is all about uniting Europe, and has traveled and played in many countries, including New Zealand, Australia, Germany, France, Sweden, Finland. And the only place you haven't played is the US. Is that right?
Not yet, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, welcome along, Marion Bigi
Thank you.
Cooper.
Thank you very much. I'm
Yes.
super happy.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad you're happy. And a mother as well now, which is so great. Congratulations on that. That must be such a
Thank you, you
beautiful
too.
experience. And yes, me too. That's great. We share children who are very close together in age. And it was great to see that you actually had a bit of a comeback tour in the Sweenats this year as well. You've been actually playing a little bit
Yeah.
of laser tag.
Mhm. Yeah, it was just a long break, but it's super important to take time with your newborn. It's super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of us who have only just walked into laser tag, tell us a bit about yourself, mate, because not everybody, you know a lot of people around the world, but not every single person has met you yet. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your background and your journey with laser tag.
Yeah, so I started laser tag in 2012, and was super quick. 5 months after I touched my first laser tag gun, I started the French championship. So I was super quick. Yeah, I was well trained in Lyon, in France, and after that, I played two French championship. I came two-time third in the middle championships. And then in 2014, I went to New Zealand, where we met for the first time in 2015 in ZL Bendigo. Was the best competitions in my life, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember it very
actually, this
clearly.
I'm not the only one. To be honest, I used to talk to many players all around the world, and everybody got this Bendigo 2015. So yeah, was really important for me. And as much as I came back to France, and I started my international career, like you said, I started to play everywhere, as much as I can play in Finland, Sweden, and all those competitions.
Yeah, and you've played Worlds as well. Um, yeah, which Worlds have you played?
I played the one we host in
Aha,
2017.
2017. Very nice. Very
That's
good.
the one. That's the
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the
was
one
in
I missed,
Belfort.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Mm,
And everybody
yeah,
had such a good time there.
apparently, yeah. I'm glad, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Good, good, good. Yeah. So, yeah, so glad you could jump on. There's a lots to talk about because, there's lots to talk about you and your relationship with laser tag and your journey, but also just about the French laser tag thing because I actually titled this podcast "Laser Tag à la Française," which
À
in
la
English is
française. À
"à
la
la
française.
Française." À la
That's great.
Française.
That's the
Thank
one.
you. Which in English is laser tag French style. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the French style. Yeah.
Beautiful. Because you guys really have your own thing going on over there.
Kind of, yeah.
It's a very different format to what the other Europeans play, what we're playing here in Australia as well. And yeah, I really want to ask a few questions about it because somebody sent me a link recently to your national titles, and I was just like, I was
Mm.
glued to it for like an hour. It was so different to everything else that I've seen and what we're doing. Yeah, tell us a bit about it. Tell us like just the basics first, settings, firing rate, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So how it work? first. Yeah, it's completely different. For you guys, this is 3 teams in the same arena, and you in the maze you play 3 teams together and you use all the map. In France, this is only around the base. That's first, and it's only 2 teams, like one fighting another. Attack or defense. It's not both like you used to do. So they are like 4 players versus 4, and the goal is or you attack and you must destroy the base, basically, or you defend and you must defend the base for 10 minutes. At the end of these 10 minutes, for example, I give you an example, it's much easier to understand. If I attack a base and I destroyed it 3 times, I got three points, and that's at the end a score. Defense, it's -3, and that kind of things. It's really short explanations, but it's more complicated.
Yeah. So it's you just basically play an attack round and a defense round, and then you net off the difference. Yeah.
Only,
And
yeah.
is the firing rate a lot quicker? Do you guys fire a lot faster?
Yeah, exactly. And also the lines are further. Like in Australia, your lines are not too far from the bases. And in France, they are like further. They are like, so another difference, like the defense can stay outside and inside the base. Even if they are deact, they don't need to get out and get in. And the attack keep the same rules than you. They need to, if they are deactivated, they need to get out from the line.
Holy moly! And how does that change things? I guess it makes it easier to defend. I guess.
Not really. No,
No.
not really, because like it's depending of the maze, but that's what one of the main issue I got. It's not all the mazes are made for your format, and not all the mazes in France are made for them format. For them format, you are more than just 2 entries, because the lines are further. So you have like plenty of entries to take care of. So basically, usually they got people staying around the base, really close to the base, and they get some defender outside who are more like calling the other inside to say, someone shot me, is getting in from this part, this part, this part. So the French format, it's a lot of communications. So that's why if you heard on the live, they got so much communications between them, and this is quick, actually. This is super quick.
Mm. So it's kind of like so the bases could have like 3 or more entrances essentially sometimes,
Can
whereas
be, yeah.
a lot of the ones in our format tend to only have 2. You would never really see more than 2. I think we've only seen maybe more than 2 once before. So essentially it's they've got more space to cover. So even if the defenders can walk through the base, it's not that much of an advantage because they've got so many entrances to cover and things. So
Exactly, yeah. And
yeah,
it's 3
cool.
shots per second also, so that make it super quick compared to Australia or European format.
Yeah, and the same person can just keep getting the base over and over.
No, it's 3 bases per player. So maximum bases is 12 for players, 3 bases per. So you get 12 points maximum. So
Right.
yeah, of course, if you got a Buza in the in the team, it can't do more than 3. It can't take, like, if you are another player who is more like a defender, not really a really offensive player. You must, as a teammate, like help him to get in his base when it's come through the attack format.
So at some stage, maybe later on down the down the road of the podcast, I need to ask you what your favorite format is, of course. But tell me about how. I mean, this is. I'm really so curious about your perspective on this, because you're the one person who's played at a high level in a high level tournament in so many different formats. You've played the Australian format, which is completely different to what everybody else is doing in Europe.
Yeah.
And then you've done Worlds, and you've also done the European formats all through Europe. And then you've obviously done a lot in France as well. So can you give us like your synopsis on what each of those, each format that you've played, what it's like, major great thing is? Like, what is it? What is the feature of each of the formats? If that makes sense.
So yeah, it's more like, I think it's just my opinion for the first time. It's just my own opinion as a Cooper. In the French format, this is like you need to be good with the speed, and you need to be like, it's more quick duel in a short area, and you got some skill that you remember. I don't know if you remember my sweeping hands. That's what I'm
Yes,
doing.
yes, yes,
Because
yeah.
you need to
Oh,
be
explain that
able
piece. Yeah, explain that
super
piece.
quickly to, yeah,
Because
because they have
you can't turn the guns upside down, can you?
was yeah, the covering rules are completely different.
Yeah.
So that's why you must be able, because you are able, you can't hold your phaser in that way. You need to put your hands all the time under, straight here. So that's something they removed since last year. So that's good, because they improve some stuff, or they are improving them rules and all those things. But yeah, you need to be able to swap your hands, because you need to keep your hands under. So that's, yeah, you are not able, you wear right now, it's different, but you were not able to swap your gun that way. Was super hard. So we got some skill, and it's actually, when I came to Australia, it was super fun to show you. You were like, I do remember in Australia, you were like, is she holding a gun? She's doing it super fast. You were wondering what she's doing.
Yeah, no, I was totally amazed because a lot of people claim that they can play both ways, but usually have a really strong preference. Like they're way
Yeah,
better
no.
one way than the other, but you're just like equal both sides. I was like, holy moly, like you can actually do it both ways. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
the French format, yeah, there is like some skill that you need to have because of the covering rules, because of the formats. And there, after all, for me, European and Australian, even if they are different, I think it's more like you need to be able to have an overview of the game. And that's something that's you don't actually really need in the French format, because it's around the base. So you kind of quickly know what's going on. You can feel that it's more like a timing, if you need to destroy the timing. But in the Europe Australian, since it's the full maze, this is just like super hard to really like play with the same skill.
Yeah, okay. So there's a whole nother layer of skills on top. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, that's super interesting. Yeah. So, funnily enough, when I started playing laser tag in Western Australia in the 90s, we played on 4 shots a second and 4 second deactivations and 2 second stuns. So, I started on a similar kind of very fast format, actually. So, and I prefer the format that we play now, but
yeah, me too, to be honest. Yeah.
I really value it, as it really helped me with my skill sets when I was first learning, just in terms of my speed and being able to track multiple targets. And because when everything's happening so fast, your attention changes so many times in like a 5 second period. So yeah, it's really good at tracking different things and everything. Yeah, cool. Well, that's super interesting, mate. Thank you for like running us all through that, because I only had such a basic understanding of how it worked, and from what I was watching on the screen now during the. Is there a place where we can go to, like the viewers can go to actually watch some of the most recent French nationals? What's the best
Yeah,
place
they
to
got
go to?
they got a channel, a YouTube channel. They used to do a live
Yeah,
for the championships. So yeah, then they are actually really improved them channel.
yeah. Can you tell us what that channel was called, or maybe I could leave a link in the notes to this podcast, so you
Yeah,
can send it. You can send it through to me.
we'll
Yeah.
definitely give you the link, and you can, like, everybody will be able to watch it and discover this format.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you had like one or two commentators the whole time standing there commentating the whole thing
Yeah,
and
they are
standing up
doing
doing
like,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
why
pretty.
that I'm sure they are learning from what's going on in your country, in Europe, and I think this is all, we all share skills and improvements, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want you to tell us a little bit now about how the scene works in France. So, like,
Mm.
I'm a person off the street. I go to my local site, and I'm like really getting into laser tag. What do they get me into? Do I start in a league, or do I just start going to like members events? How does it all work in France?
Oh, so if you are like a member of a laser tag, like you are playing for fun, and one day you feel getting into a French championship, it's kind of open. So that's something great. There is no limited teams per area, per example. It's kind of the first arrived, first saved. So this is good. It's like around tournaments, it's around 20 teams, something. Sometimes they get to 24th. Yeah, actually, it's a huge scene we got in France. Many players. So yeah, so if you are a new players, you can first register on this association's French Championship laser tag, and with your team, 4 players, and you can add 1 or 2 extra players in case there is something happened, and that's all. Like, it's working as a season. It's more like you got the main national at the end, like around June or something. It depends of the year, and it's a 2 days tournament at the end. And you got 3 other competitions, and you are like the first competitions. If you start, you will begin in the B team, like the B group and the A group. It's not working as you used to do in Australia. So in Australia, everybody kind of is in the same group, and then after all, you get a level, and that's the teams you are versus. In them team, depends of the seasons before. If you made a good score in this preview season, you got new points to be in the A group and keep going on it. If you are started, you start in the B group. So that's good because you are fighting players on the same level than you. The limit of this is if you are from, like I said, from another country, you need to start in the big group, and though you won't have any chance to play versus the best French teams.
Aha, okay. And how often do you guys play? Like, is it it's a league? So do you play every week or every month, or how often do 20 teams come together to play against each other?
No, it's 3 times a year.
Three
Three, four
times a year.
times a year. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 times a year. So
Cool.
yeah, so this is organized everywhere in France. They usually try to manage different area in France, to not pull all of them in the same, like for example in the north, because there is a few teams less than in the north, but you still have few teams in the south of France. So they try to manage different areas and also be agreed with the owners to host the weekend tournament.
And how many active sites are there, like providing teams?
Oh, it depends of the year. It depends of the competitions. Like,
Yeah.
mainly, I will say there is maybe 6, 7, like laser tag who usually used to send players. So sometimes you get on the 20 teams 2 or 3 teams of those sides, and after all, there is always, like, you can be surprised, there is a lot of zones, mega zones. So you will, yeah, we call it mega zone, dark zone, and zone. But yeah, there is a lot of teams from everywhere, so there is always new players, new teams, but it's usually they are not like, they aren't bring by the site. They are registered by them own. It's not the site,
Ah.
definitely. Hmm?
Well, how do they find out about it? How do they? kind of like get to know about this tournament that you guys are running?
So usually they got because they do right like good communications. Most of the time they no, so they are social medias. Sometimes they got some papers all around the megazone to say, oh, there is the tournament. So they sent to many megazones that what they are doing. And also sometimes there is members like I used to be in France for the international competitions. There is like in some magazine you will find some members, and they will play and talk to new talents. So yeah.
Cool. And did you used to do that in France? So in between tournaments, how did you whet your appetite for laser tag? When did you yeah, when did you play? Did you like go in every week and play members nights? Yeah, exactly. Do that. Make new
Yeah,
people
that is
feel
just
welcome.
friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm kind of quiet. I used to communicate because my background in the French Championship make me talk to many of those players. And usually, I think the best communications is by the players. So if they join an international competitions, they usually will talk about it to other players and other players, because it's two different things. Like the French LASETAC, the French competitions are organized by these associations, and me, I'm completely outside of that, and I'm a freelance player who's just playing everywhere in the world and don't make any difference between the France and the other countries. So if there is any player in France, that's why I used to do, who got any questions regarding international scene, Australia, New Zealand, Finland, Sweden, I'm I'm completely open. That's why the Germany did. So that's what happened it was in 2016. If no 2017, it was straight after the World Championships. They came to talk to me, and I was like, yeah, let's go to Sweden together. So it
You'd be
doesn't
the
matter.
best to travel with, mate. I remember when we were in Sweden and our team wasn't doing so great, and you were right there in our corner. You're like, "Come on, guys, you can do better than this." And you're representing a whole other region, and Australia over there struggling, and you're trying to get us up for the next game. It was great. Definitely jump on a team with this person if you got the opportunity. uh,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, let's move on to the next piece I wanted to talk about, which is which I forgot it in your intro actually, about your position on the World's Council,
No,
which
yeah.
is so you've been on the World Council since 2017
Yeah, because of you.
because of me. We covered that, yeah. So I stepped down in 2017 and suggested that you jump on at the time because it was being hosted in France.
Hmm.
So that would have totally worked, and I was lucky enough that you totally picked that up and are still there, still on the World's Council, and pulled off a Worlds. So I wanted to talk to you about that and ask you about how was that whole experience of organising a Worlds, getting a site on board to want to host it. Yeah, like being you were, I guess, the main spokesperson for that, to have that happen
Yeah,
in
because
France.
like this 2017 word was like an opportunity that I wanted to give to a friend. David is the owner of the Neo Center in Belfort, where we get this amazing tournament. And I do remember just before I went to New Zealand, he told me, if one day I can host a world championship, I will be happy. And I never like was even before to meet you guys. And the day I got this opportunity and you came to me in 2016 to tell me like, do you know any places where we can host the world championship? And I was like, I got someone. So I straight away I was in contact, wasn't living in Belfort, and I was in contact, still in contact with David, and I told him, are you remember what you said? This is the day it can happen. I got the opportunity to maybe lost the World Championship in France. So it was like he said yes straight away. We sent everything, and it happened. 2017 was amazing. Was super hard. Was super hard to organize it. I wasn't scared about getting teams and countries because I knew most of them because I was traveling a lot, and I did a friendship communications. It's not really hard to talk to all of you guys, even if you are so far away from us. But it was super scary, but we got a really good team to organize that. We were working together and in Belfort, and yeah, it was a teamwork. This championship was a teamwork, so we were super happy at the end that it was done. And then everybody had a very good memories and all those time.
It's running a big tournament is like you're so happy to run it and you're so happy to end it as well, aren't you? You're like so happy when it finishes. You're like, oh my god, that's hard. It's really hard. I don't want to be doing that for too much longer. But yeah, everybody I spoke to who went and had a role, especially in volunteering and stuff, just said they had the best time hanging out with you guys. And yeah, you guys were so grateful to have them there, and were like great. They were just great hosts and everything. Yeah, what was the toughest part about? I guess there's a few things. I guess there's one of them was the transition of your own players, the French players playing completely different game style and all that kind of stuff. And then there was running such a big prestigious tournament for the first time, and then managing people and players. Like, what were the hardest parts? What were the trickiest parts?
I think if I hadn't I would say some names of people. First, the owner made David made everything because he give us freedom to organize everything, and he was he used to have the experience to organize events also, so we learned a lot of him. The staff, one of the player was Tayo, and he actually did an amazing work with technical issues. He was everybody give him some compliments because he deserved it. And he was a friend and a very good help for this tournament. And also I would say the council, but specifically Mumin and Doc helped me a lot. I do remember that Mumin is like a father, and he came to me and he was like, everything will be okay, Cooper. Everything will be okay, because you get so much pressure on your shoulder. You the world is watching you. The world is watching you, and you need to organize this. And I never choose kind of to be in these spots. I like to help. I like to. But I don't really like to be in the lights. So was super happy when it was done. Managing people, it wasn't an issue because nobody were really managing anyone. It's more like to stay calm and be like, everything will be okay. There is no much pressure, and it's just about the pressure. So that's why at the end was super happy to get to this party, give trophies, and be like, it's done. It's done. But
hand it over to the next person.
And it wasn't done really because it was for the story. It was in this competition that Mamin and Darkuman, we all three were talking about Europe. And so that's in this tournament when we were with a drink on the end, we're like, well, we should do what the Australian did, and we should do an European tournament, like a Europe. And the year after was in Helsinki. We get the first European tournament. So that's why I'm part of the council, because we actually talked about it the year before, and then
I can't believe so that conversation happened at Belfort to start that. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my
so that's
gosh.
why.
And the European Championship is still running as well, isn't it? You guys run it every couple of years?
It's more depending on the World Championship, because we want to make sure people, will be able to go to both.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it will be in 2025, if I'm not making a mistake. 2024 will be in New Zealand. So normally, if everything will be okay, we plan to do it in 2025.
Ooh, cool. Well, okay.
And I'm not gonna say anything else. Secret.
Okay. Very good. Well, I need to get that is a bucket lister for me is to come to one of those tournaments. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, so that's just what you pulled off for 2017 was incredible, and I think something to keep in mind too is that something like the Worlds isn't it's only run every 4 years or whatever it is. So we've actually only run a handful of Worlds. It's not a very like evolved competition in terms of having lots of systems in place, and it's a lot of things gets forgotten from one Worlds to the next, or things change and all that kind of stuff. So it's not an easy tournament to run like something that's run every year and has been doing that for a long time. So often in that situation, it comes down to an individual or two who just put a huge amount of effort in to make sure everything's done. So I can imagine that would have been just a massive amount of work for you guys. So well done on pulling that off. How did you feel like how do you think it impacted the local players? Like, what did they think of the Worlds format, the French community?
So the French community, for what I heard, some really appreciate it and like to do both, and some don't really feel and rather prefer the French format. That's why our country, and that's something that's kind of my hope in the future. It will be because it's maybe a dream. Like I got a dream. One day, I hope we got we play all the same format. It's not because your format is played in Australia and you got the largest community that it must be the strongest who will win. But I think it must be a full conversation of each country, and that's what I think Word is made for. The Word competitions, that's why this completely different to any others. It's a place where you can play combinations of all our different format and history. Like in Sweden, they got their own history, and you got the base run. The base run is mainly a Sweden format. The USA, the lore. That was them favorite kind of format. So I hope one day, the French we get time, because it's they got a huge work with them own championship. But one day, if they got time, I hope they will share and find a compromise.
An idea that somebody has run past me, which I love, is the idea of at least exploring playing multiple formats at a Worlds. Because something that Moomin brought up to me was that nobody actually plays the Worlds format anywhere. So it's not the US format, it's not the Sweden format, it's not the Finland format, it's a combination. And so nobody's actually is playing their own format at Worlds. Like, yes, it's a lot closer to the European formats than it is to the Australian format and the French format, but yeah, we're not actually playing it. But in some ways, that maybe levels the field a little bit, so that everybody has to modify their game at Worlds or adapt to something that's not native to them potentially. But yeah, it would be nice to unite. I think it's a dream of us all to unite one day. But yeah, maybe we'll just end up like rugby with a couple of different codes.
Let's be patient. Look, I'm in the laser tag scene since now maybe 11 years, and I think it's maybe my dream to get all those families all around the world together and communicate about laser tag. It's not laser tag of Australian, like it's not just the Finnish, it's all laser tag community.
Well, mate, I'm definitely voting you as the world laser tag ambassador of all laser sporting. You've got my vote. Before we move on, you should point out on the map behind to all the viewers of the podcast, what is the next country that you're going to go to?
What I am dreaming to.
What are you dreaming to? What are you dreaming to?
I told you.
Yeah.
USA.
USA,
I
here she
told you
comes.
that's the only competitions left, so I must go there. Then I'm done.
Okie
But
dokie.
yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go, guys.
I'm not saying that I'm winning. I'm just saying I will go there, playing in USA, and yeah, I met some of the players like Luke Skywalker. You met him earlier, so yeah, I played with him in Australia, and I'm sure I will be super happy to play in them competitions also.
They will love having you over there for a comp. I bet they can't wait. So they've got their nationals coming up shortly. Actually, we'll be doing a stream with them, to their prediction stream with them. So that will be really exciting for them. So yeah, just I want you to sort of share with us what is this is kind of a big question. Okay, we're going big brain now. What does progression in laser tag look like to Cooper? What do you think? You spoke briefly about uniting the formats, but what does a progression in laser sporting look like to you? What do you think we should be aspiring for as a sport?
At the sport, we got really good inspirations in New Zealand. Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, the Vidark and Moldy showed me many things, and they did this practice in them invitations in the New Zealand invitations, like the maze where you can see on the live. Like I think the future of
Player
our
tracking.
sports is yeah, exactly.
Yes, so
It's to
yeah, some of our
improve
viewers may have
the
seen the player tracking that they've invented. Yeah, V-Dark
yeah.
and Danny. They've
Yeah.
done, and they featured it at the New Zealand Invitationals like about a week ago. And they were everyone was really happy with how it, how it played out, and people could really tell what people's strategies were and the patterns they were running, and like you could get real information out of it, and it was like the guys seemed like they were reasonably happy with how stable it was and everything as well. So yeah, it is a massive.
That's a
It's
good
something
start.
we've always dreamed. It's something all laser tag players have dreamt of, isn't it? So
I
yeah,
love that.
keep going, mate. Expand on that a little
That can
bit.
be, yeah, that can be the future, because for me, the future of to improve the sport, we got teams, we got people, we got a lot of energy. That's fine. But what we miss, maybe this is the communications with the people who don't actually understand our sport. Even if we do, and you do an amazing job with that, like doing all those YouTube's videos, tutorial, that way you show to every players who want to improve them game how to be a best player, how to practice the technical things, the dodge and all those time. But for my opinion, what we need to improve, and what New Zealand did very well, is to give another dimensions to our sport, by make it I don't know how to say in English, but to be able, like, to everyone can watch the game and kind of understand how it works.
Yeah.
And actually, when you check it out, the screen and the scoring board, like, you are like, what the hell is that? But
yeah. I guess the term we would call is spectator friendly. So people who are spectating it, it's friendly to the spectators, so they can understand it easily. You know, they don't already need to know about the game to see what's going on. And I think that's definitely a tool that can be added, isn't it? When you've got the dots, suddenly people are. It was funny, even back in the day, 20 years ago, when we first started having live scoreboards, parents, because I run a laser tag venue, and birthday party parents would sit there and watch the scores change on the scoreboard. So people will watch live things. If things are moving live and it's real, attached to real data, like, they'll watch it. So yeah, as soon as we've got that happening, with a score and cameras and stuff to augment it all, no doubt it'll start to become more friendly for people to want to watch it. Hey.
Mm. So that's more my opinion. That's what we need to get more of
Yeah,
this. And
yeah.
the Europe, we still have a strong scene in Europe. And I'm talking to more to the France and Europe
Mm.
scene. We got a strong, strong people there. And yeah, maybe why not get one or two countries more? You know me.
Who you
Yeah,
got in
let's
mind,
see.
mate? Who do you think is on your next on the little black list?
Ah, I met so many of them. At the moment, and I hope if there is anyone in those countries, I will say who say no, you are wrong. I'm here. I want to play. I will be happy to meet those guys. But I went to UK. To UK, I met some players. They don't have like they got 2-3 zone arena and not many members to really build something. Same for Spain. I went there also, but there is more like 2-3 same situation than UK. I talked to Italy but they got another system. So this is difficult to come back to another system because they weren't really trained. They have a different way um, to play. We got unfortunately Norway and Russia who stopped really to play with us because
Mm.
not enough players and members. If they
Mm.
want to come back, we'll be happy. Still
Mm.
friends, but yeah, unfortunately they stopped. Yeah, and I'm sure there is um, around Netherlands and Belgium, I'm sure there is some things to do also. So maybe when I will get, when my baby will be older and I will be able to travel again a little bit more, I will be happy to check it out. And let's see, why not?
Well, I reckon I'm going to send you maybe one of those little backpack things for Christmas, where you can just stick your kid in the backpack and just walk around town with it. That way, we can get you
Mm,
on the road recruiting more countries for for laser tag. How does
thank you.
that sound?
Thank you.
So you need to tell just quickly. We need to tell everybody the story about Germany because I only learnt that for the first time tonight. We were talking about it
Ah, really?
before we started recording. Yeah. So tell us how did talking about uniting Europe together. You have united one country. That is part of your resume of uniting the Europe already. Tell us about how all that came together.
Yeah, but you speak about Germany only? Yeah, so
Oh, is there more than Germany?
no, not at the moment. I got in contact with many of them, but at the moment they don't, they, they, they never get more than just speaking. Germany was the country who are getting a further, like now they are getting them zone German championship, and I'm super proud for them. Like, um, when I came back, like I said, to New Zealand, I get in contact after World Championship. I get in contact with Aki and Kadarekt. They are right now friends. We are friends together all the time. It's not just about Lazitag. It's also friendship. And I told like they wanted to bring a team to World Championship, but it was too late to do it. So I talked to them and I said, like, why not? I'm gonna chair Sweden championship. So we went to Sweden because I knew Mumin will be the best person to meet for them. And yeah, I bring them to Sweden. Then they did appreciate the format. They came back to Germany. Then they came back with a team this time because they went only two players. Then after all, they joined another Sweden competitions with a team, was the Watchdogs. And straight after, not only the Watchdogs, but the Team Destroyer. And yeah, you met Reaper also. And no, so now there is mainly Aki and Reaper really like the getting the lead and the energy of the Germany to play and bring them together around the German zone laser tag championship. So
There we go.
yeah,
That's
this
so
is.
good.
So sometimes
Just
just meet people. Yeah.
sometimes the spark is just required, hey, and then the inferno happens.
And you leave them and
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Awesome. And is there any final things you want to share about the world of laser tag at the moment that have been with you, Cooper? Anything that's been any final thoughts on
no, but
laser?
like yeah, I think like I said, your channel is the best place to talk about because we are all talking the same language. We are talking about even my accent. Like, I'm so sorry. The French accent was terrible, and I'm sure I made thousands of mistakes in this video. But what I feel is just sharing is we are all not talking the same language, but we are all playing laser tag, and that's what give me the energy. It's only laser tag and people. So
Yeah,
since we got people, since we got laser tag, we'll keep going.
absolutely. And yeah, that's a big motivator for us. Is we just want to like share everybody's stories and provide, so when people like when they create great technology like the player tracking, and we do start to get this sport out to the mainstream on a bigger scale, there's actually things online people can go to learn and to connect with the community and to get the history and all that kind of stuff. So that's our big part of our intent at the moment. We're putting all this down there, but we're hoping that one day when it becomes mainstream, lots of people will be really interested in watching it.
And we
So
will get old, and let's see, maybe like in 10, 20 years, we will be like super old in our
yeah.
rocking chair and saying like, I
Oh
played
my
this
god, look
game.
at that. Look at me, I still had hair, a little bit of hair. There we go. Awesome, mate. Well, it's been so great connecting with you and talking to you and having you on the channel, mate. We really appreciate it. You're an absolute gem, and wishing you all the best, and hopefully you're back on the road before you even know it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you.